in the red color, we have Stefano for Team Millennium, and he is just looking, he's just in such an awesome shape this weekend.
Yeah, Stefano looks pretty ridiculous. Most of the predictions were actually 3-1, like in the, I guess the pregame interview there. Bling predicted 3-1 Stefano. Apollo predicted, I think, 3-1 Stefano. But
Stefano predicted 3-1 Stefano.
Yes, he did, actually. He said, I'll concede a game to Puma. But right now, he's standing at the verge of a 3-0, and Puma's going to have to do something special.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be easy. We have Stefano moving out with a drone now. And the thing is, he is just in the most comfortable position you can be in. If you are in a best of 5 and you're leading 2-0, you can always pull some kind of shenanigans, just try to play a little bit greedy. There's a lot of stuff that you can do. You can try to put on a little bit of early aggression against the opponent, try to go for some kind of all-in, because losing just one map is not such a big deal. And the reverse is obviously true as well. You can try to get a little bit more greedy than you usually would, couple of corners in the early game, and if you get away with it, that's fine, then you have an awesome lead, and if you lose the game, then you are still one game ahead and can play the standard macro game.
Stefano just scouting around right now with this initial drone, sees the gas, so Puma once again looks like he wants to go for some kind of a tech opening. He's gone a Reaper twice, and both times sees very little, does negligible damage. Stefano really trying to harass that SCV line a little bit. Hatch first from the Zerg player. No spawning pool yet, up to 16 supply. Looks like it will be a 16 pool though.
Heads out with the drone, and there's the spawning pool at 16, you're perfectly right. The Overlord already getting into position behind the mineral line of the main base. Let's head down to the barracks. So far, we have a little bit of gas for Puma. And actually, I'm really interested to see what he is going to do. Obviously, the strategy that he used the last 2 games did not work. So what is he going to do on the Shakura's Plateau? What kind of strategy is he choosing in order to take down his opponent? The factory this time, and it looks like finally we have the reactor factory, Hellions.
Looks like it. So Puma's saying, all right, this Reaper stuff hasn't worked twice. I want to just go straight up to my my Hellions this game, and hopefully I can reach a better outcome. Stefano working on that first 100 gas. You know, he's basically gone Infesterling twice. There's been no real reason for him to change. But as he is up 2-0 in the series, if there's ever a time to do something cheesy, it might be now.
Yeah, you're perfectly right about it. That's kind of what we could expect by Stefano. Puma now with the, not only the factory, but also the reactor. And we have the double queens. So I'm really interested to see if Stefano is pulling something different here, but for now he's just droning out, playing a little bit greedy, and he just has the timings down perfectly. He has the timing down cold. He is in a position. The main problem as a Zerg is you always have to know when can I build drones and when do I have to save my lava in order to build units. And this is something that Stefano just mastered perfectly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we saw it on Cloud Kingdom. He makes a big Ling swell early, like when no one else probably would make that big Ling swell, and then uses it to great effect. He just has a really great grasp of when he can get away with things and when he can't. Hitting a kind of uncharacteristic supply block here at 28 is Stefano, going double Overlord very early in the game. So maybe having a lapse in concentration there. But beyond that little hiccup, he's been playing perfect StarCraft so far today.
I really like the scouting pattern of Stefano now. He's just using a bunch of Zerglings in order to control the Xel'Naga watchtower. At the same time, the Overlords are getting into position. We have Hellions now heading out. Puma wants to get map control. He wants to make sure that the Zerg play is restricted to his main base. And we have the Spinecrawler. Stefano is just playing it super safe. Once again, he's droning up. He's getting additional queens, creep slaves to spread the creep, get a bunch of creep tumors in the game. And interestingly enough, we have the second factory by Puma and another reactor. This looks like he's going for double factory reactor Hellions. And this can get really nasty if you're not prepared for it.
But this time, for whatever reason, Stefano has thrown down the Roach Horn. Now, we saw Strelak do this opening earlier in this tournament against some Zerg. Who was it? Was it Bly? Then he goes double reactor Hellion and comes in and gets a lot of drone kills. I mean, it's a great build, and it's a very sneaky, tricky build, and if it's unscouted, then Zergs can lose games outright, but Stefano seems to have... Oh, look, Baneling Nest going down, so we are going to see Roachling Bane.
Baneling and Roaches, and, well, Baneling and Roaches, in case you didn't know, are pretty good against Hellions. The main problem for Stefano would have been if he would have tried to go for some kind of normal game. With the last game that I've seen where we've seen casted Reactor Double Factory Hellions was alive against Idra on the second map, and Idra just didn't have a chance after his opponent was able to sneak into his main base with like 12 to 14 Hellions. So this is a horrible scenario for Puma right now. He's actually adding straight away an armory, so he might just go for either an attack upgrade or trying to transition into a mixture of Hellions and Thors later on. But Stefano is going for the Baneling Nest. He has the Roaches as well. Both units counter the units of his opponent perfectly, and this is going to be so hard for Puma to hold.
Yeah. Looking at Puma's vision right now, we can see he's just spotting the Roaches for the first time. He's got a ton of Hellions out. These Hellions might actually be able to fight these Roaches, and Stefano's all of a sudden like, whoa, that's a lot of Hellions. But he's going to continue marching across the middle of the map. Marauder being produced right now for Puma. Bunker going to go down, so he's going to try to defend as well as he can. 8 Banelings being morphed at the moment. This many Hellions will kill those Banelings if they can splash on them. So Puma's not necessarily in a whole lot of trouble. I actually don't mind his position that much. He just lifts the command center, falls back. Stefano's still producing units on just 39 drones.
He's just trying to strengthen his wall now, and I really like this decision. He's not trying to hold the command center on the low ground. That would have been his death. The Hellions need to do a lot of damage, and they might be able to pull it off, especially at the ramp. But here we go, busting in, taking down the 2 supply depots. And the SCV's a little bit too late. They can't prepare, but is he able to take down the army? The Marauder is getting killed immediately. Stefano streaming into his opponent's main base, already taking down a ton of SCVs, but is it going to be enough?
More Banelings trying to get in, and they will actually blow up on the Hellions, but for the most part, Puma has defended brilliantly here. He loses a handful of SCVs, 3 SCVs in fact. Roach is still in the main base, and Ling's still streaming in. Puma has not yet reestablished his wall. Stefano's still with just a handful of units, but it looks like Puma does in fact hold here, down to 45 supply against the 66 of Stefano. While this has been happening, Stefano's taken a third base. He's added a few more drones.
There are more and more Lings just streaming into the main base right now, and he's taking down so many units at the same time. He's droning up now. He's just trying to get back into the macro game. He already has a third. He's taking down Hellions and Marauders alike. Stefano still with a pressure play while droning up with 9 additional drones. He's ahead with 59, or will be ahead with 59 to 33 SCVs on 3 bases against 2. Even though this push was well, Puma defended quite well.
Yeah, Puma defended
so much damage.
Wonderfully. He only lost 5 SCVs to that, quote, all-in. But behind that all-in, Stefano has added a third base. He's up to 60 drones. He's basically 3 saturated bases. Layer Tech hasn't started yet, but he's working on +1 melee and +1 carapace, so he can transition right back into, what are you doing, Stefano?
He's going for the hatch in the middle of the map because he can. There's no other explanation for it. It's just, this guy is insane. Stefano is going for the hatch in the middle of the map, and he is building more and more units. Lings and Roaches, +1/+1 on its way. 100 supply against 70. Still, we have Puma. He has to build Marauders and Hellions. There's nothing else he can do right now, and those units won't cut it.
Now Puma sees, no, I don't think he saw it just yet, no idea. Oh, no, he saw the building hatchery, so Puma's got to be like, WTF, mate. There's a Marine on that lower tower that for some reason I feel like snarky Stefano knows that he's there. He's like, here, check this out. Roaches, Lings, Bane's going to continue to pile on the pressure into the natural of Puma, who is stabilizing. He's at 81 supply against 117, and he's got an army that's okay against what Stefano's throwing at him.
The thing that really frightens me is that at the same time Stefano is just able to spread his creep, take a fort, position his overlords, and now he's attacking once again. This guy is everywhere. His macro is just crazy. He's going in again, taking down a ton of these Hellions. The Roaches in the back focusing down them one by one. Only a few Marauders in the mix for Puma. 73 supply against 103, and even if Puma is able to throw this attack back, but well, he probably is not.
Oh my God, GG! 3-0 for Stefano. I cannot believe it. I can believe it, but I cannot believe it was that convincing. Brilliant play by the French reserve.